Welcome. This is Barry Jones from the Angel School, and we're here for our weekly angel reading for July 5th through the 11th, 2021. So, before we begin, I'd just like to welcome anyone who is new to our community, Angel School community, and also welcome everyone else back who is returning to watch this week. And this is the time I'm recording. This is the holiday weekend, 4th of July in America, in the US. So there's a lot of people probably celebrating that over the weekend. So I wish you all safe travels and beautiful celebrations with your loved ones and the people you consider family. And before I get into the reading, just want to make you aware I will be working over the weekend and hopefully next week getting out the monthly Angel Scope zodiac readings for the 12 zodiac signs. And also for the month of July, I will be continuing my special offer for my half-hour reading of $77. I will be extending that reading for one full hour. So if you have the desire or feel the calling to have a reading with me, you can go to my webpage, theangelschool.com, on the services page, and that link is below in the description area below this video. And you would just select the half-hour reading as is. And when you submit your payment within 24 hours on the first business day, and this week would be the 6th after the holiday, I will send you a confirmation email noting the special offer for that half-hour reading for one full hour. And everything that you need to know and will be in the email. So it will ask you to submit your availability, the time and days that you are available over a 3-week period. And it will start by telling you the starting date when I have availability. And what I ask people to do with this, if you have like very few days within a week, then go ahead and give me more time so that we don't have to come back to you. So more is better, all right? And also just keep in mind that I meditate with the angels, and so the more you give me, the more that you allow for the best choice that the angels will select the time and the date that will be the best alignment for our angel reading. I feel this is a very important part of the process. So just be aware of that. Okay, and as again, there are no restrictions or limitations. If you've had a reading with a special offer before or several times, this does not matter. Okay? All right, so let's take a deep breath. And I'm already just seeing a unicorn that's been with us since I started talking. And the unicorns, when they come in, their horn of light is a projection of their third eye, that it's open with precision and clarity, focus. So one of the things that the unicorns can help you to do is to focus. So if you have a creative project this week, or you're needing help following through, these are things they're writing to me, so it's the first time I'm getting these communications about them. If you're having trouble following through, they can touch your third eye, or touch you with that third eye wherever you need it, and project that light into your heart, into your mind, into your psychic vision to help clarify your goals, your vision, that you desire to manifest. And they began by showing me a phallic symbol. So when they do that, that's my symbol for something's about to manifest, because it was erect and ready. So it seems like that something is, you're passionate. This is the word they kept writing. So this is really sort of, I'm realizing now that this symbolism of a phallic symbol is really aligning with the suit of wands. And this is the word they kept writing, passion. So that pay attention in this week, that you're going to find yourself becoming very passionate about something. Okay. And it's just going to sort of grab your attention and grab your heart. Something's going to move your heart. And this is where you need to channel all of your creativity and all of your gifts in that direction. And so something might actually erupt for you, or it might point you clearly on that path. So this thing that you're passionate about might come to fruition or get you on track if you haven't been feeling a sort of a loss of purpose. And the words that they were writing as I was also starting was the word lack. So that if you've been feeling sort of like you're stagnating, because that's what the energy of lack really is, right? You're stagnating. And also the energy of lack is fueled by our fears. And so we hold back. We don't we don't attempt. It's like the Two of Wands. I read a description of this card in a new tarot deck called the Good Karma Tarot. I highly recommend this. It's for anyone who's a beginner, because the guidebook is amazing. And just gives such great insights into the cards and to the original Rider-Waite card as well. But this idea that she proposes that, in the original version of this card, he's standing on a castle, on the balcony of his castle, and he has the globe of the earth in one hand. Like, he's got this power. He's got it all in his hands. But what she pointed out is he's afraid to leave that castle, possibly. He's gotten comfortable with the way things are. And the two wands that are standing on either side of him is almost like it's a threshold or doorway. And so you're standing in the threshold, but you haven't taken any steps. And that's where the next, it looks like he might have eventually will do that in the Three of Wands, where he's now at the seashore, and he's either launching something or waiting for the rewards, to reap the rewards when they come in. So you're in this place where you feel like you're stagnating, you're lacking, because you're not taking action. Your heart is lit up, but you're afraid. And so what will happen is that your passions will either burn a path before you or consume you right where you're standing, right? So you don't want to become ashes. And that's how you probably are feeling, like lots of regrets, a lot of disappointment. And it's important for you now to take action. Take an action step, no matter how small. And know they're saying that the support of the universe will show up at that very moment that you take that step. And I don't know why they're writing this word now, but and how this in the context of, but I'm just seeing the word asthma. So this is about, I feel like symbolically, like you're not allowing, like you're suffocating yourself. You're not breathing, and there's a sense of restriction, right? So that you're really feeling restricted in some way, and in some way that you feel like something is suffocating you. Maybe it's something, it's stifling the job or a relationship. Some dynamic is stifling and not allowing you to be who you are. So you just don't feel like you have enough freedom in your life. So don't let this situation cause you to stagnate. Okay? All right, so let's take a look at the angel card, the Archangel Oracle card for this week. And it's interesting. I'm just seeing a doorway and someone standing in the threshold of that doorway. And, I'm seeing a naked behind, sort of like a G-string. I don't know what that means, but that's just new. I usually don't see that. But it's a sense of, being vulnerable, what that normally means to me. But this person was kind of flaunting themselves a little bit. So it's like you need to put yourself out there. I hate selling myself as well. I really, since I was a child, and nobody, it's just something I felt instinctively. I just didn't like it. But this is the right number. I can't feel like they're right in the number 4, or it almost looks like the symbol of Jupiter, So maybe it's a bit to be double, like where the angels are supporting you in this time of potential and expansion, right? And so you need to put yourself out there in the way that you feel good about yourself, and that stokes your ignites your passions, and it just gives you this strong sense of confidence and clarity about who you are and about your path. So this is a necessary step for you to take and develop an attitude. So I think this is really appropriate here, outdoors. And so the Archangel Jophiel, let me just adjust, I'll leave it the light, but this sense of getting out is what I really feel like right now. I feel like you've been in not only indoors, but you've been in this particular position or place for far too long, and now you need a change. And you need, even if it's just that for you, it's just going out and getting fresh air, as in that you get fresh perspective, that you put yourself out there, and it might show you, like, for some of you, it might be just be to go through the motions of, let's say, for example, looking for a new job, going through the motions of exploring, of dating. Not, it may not be the goal to get the new job or to find a new person, a new relationship. That might not be what's necessary, or that you're ready for that, but that you just put yourself out there. Because when we get out of practice, we get we double down on our fears, double down on us, right? And we just become really insecure. And so it's good to keep yourself, I don't know if this is the proper word, but alert, keep yourself sort of on the fires, so you know how to respond to something like this. So yeah, it's important for you to sort of get out. Archangel Jophiel, her name means the beauty of God. So this is sense too of beautifying yourself, really. And I saw the word before I started, body. And so also, to, I feel like there's something about being body positive that might have something to do with some of the reasons why you're not feeling confident about putting yourself out there. And I don't know if this has to do with the G-string idea too, where this in my vision earlier, the person was sort of just showing off, right? And I think that we've all gone through some body um, changes in our body over the pandemic because we weren't out and about and being as active as we normally would. And so that's and also it's sort of, I don't know if this is the, but like maybe like a bit of a cabin fever or something, like where you've just been in sort of inside for too long, and now it's hard to adjust moving out, and it's sort of created this sort of safety zone, or this where you're just afraid to now put yourself out there because you haven't done it in a while. So it's really time for everyone to get out in terms of networking, you know, and but being aware of where it is that you're being guided to do it. So this is why it's so important to pay attention to your passions, because we're not really going to build back better. You're going to build better, right? And so you have to move forward because there was a reason. So to build back means that we're just saying, okay, well, that's over, that happened, there was nothing I gained from that. And that's not true. There's a whole purpose behind what that was and what it created in each and every one of us, what we've learned to appreciate, where we realize what are our true priorities, and where we can now really make a difference, not only for ourselves, but in service for those in our communities and in the broader world. So now you might feel very awkward, like, you know, baby learning to walk for the first time in a world that you've already been walking around in and doing things before. But it's there are going to be some things that you do continue because they were authentically who you are. But you just want to make sure now that everything, as much as possible, is authentic, an authentic expression of yourself, and is really truly your divine purpose. And I'm seeing the word assignments. And so you might find that some of you have new assignments, and you've been getting messages, as I'm seeing the word, about particular specific assignments from your heart and from your angels and God. All right, so let's take a look. So know that Archangel Jophiel who's also an angel of wisdom. Know that Archangel Jophiel will enlighten you with the wisdom to know what path is right for you, and will enhance your thoughts with God's divine wisdom and peace and clarity. So let's take a look at the card for the first part of the week, the opening of the week. And this is an ace of air. Okay. Boy, really wish it was kind of this kind of weather right now, don't we? So hot here in the east. But today is actually an unusual day because it's cool. It's going to be in the 60s. But this is a card of challenges. It's a card of, you know, where you have this of clarity, of new ideas, but they come with challenges. So this mental sharpness. So this card, first of all, says that you're going to have this mental sharpness at the beginning of the week. Okay, and this might mean that I don't know, I feel like I was saying the word, like you might have some sudden clarity and about things that you've been sort of reflecting on. So like I'm sort of seeing like things coming full circle on some of your reflections that you've been reflecting, and all of a sudden you have this sort of breakthrough, this, you know, profound clarity. And of course, this gives us the courage to pursue certain things and to really focus and get them done. But of course, with that clarity, that expansion, there's usually contraction. And our mind just loves to chew at what we um, like eat away at that expansion, right? And that's sort of how we find ourselves, things being brought up, that sabotage, right, from the past. So you really want to, you know, really trust that this is a mission. I mean, so there's this sense of Arthur, right? King Arthur, with his sword and the stone, and this sort of champion for the greater good idea. And so that you feel a really strong calling and purpose in this moment. And you're ready to take up that sword and to take up that crown and authority and take action. All right, so this is something you've earned and something you're very worthy of. And you have to hold this through despite the challenges that you'll go through. And the sword suit shows all the challenges to, this doubt. And, 3, the negative impact of people's words and their comments, and that can sort of eat away at the growth the growth potential, right? Or it's a card of also heartbreak of something like you're having your heart broken, maybe from getting news, um, that's very disappointing. And so it just goes on and on, the different cards, and shows just sort of all the stuff that we go through in that suit, and how we can lead ourselves to ruin. So it's not really meant to say, oh, you're going to have something bad happen to you, but it's really meant to show you the mental state that you're in, and to give you insight about what you need to do. Like with the 10 of Swords, it's like, well, here we just have to embrace what is right now. You're in it, so now you got to lay in it until it passes, sort of idea, right? Don't fight, don't struggle with it, or you'll make it worse, and it'll soon pass. Is that idea? All right, so let's take a look at the card for the middle of the week. And just to note here, the card that they're Radley Valentine is linking this to in the major arcana is the hanged one, so which is Archangel Jophiel. And so this is about gaining that perspective, right? And so you might feel like you have this clarity, but again, be aware of those moments. Don't where you can't push, where you just have to be, right? And you have to accept and go with the flow. And sometimes that's our biggest challenge, that we don't allow ourselves to go with the flow and to align with the co-creative process of the universe, and know that just everything isn't a negative sign just because we can't make things happen the way we want to. So be aware of trying to manipulate things, and be more aware of the way things are unfolding, and the way that they're unfolding, the inspiration that you receive that gives you from that stagnating, that gives you the inspiration to know what move to make, and that's appropriate and best for the situation. So when things are held up, it doesn't mean that something's wrong. It means that we need to get in alignment with the flow, so that we can really get the best out of this opportunity. All right, let's take a look at the card for the middle of the week. Wow. Okay, so, and I cut the deck, so like I don't just choose the cards from the top. I cut them for each one. And so here we have the 2 of Swords. And I was just explaining that. So this card is saying that um, this process is, you're going to have this expansion, but you may end up dealing with not knowing which decision to make. And it's very interesting because we were talking about the Two of Wands, right? And so this is just telling you what's going on in your mental process. You get this clarity, and then what happens is you don't know what to do with it, or you feel like you don't know what to do with it because the choices are so good on either way. They're either both really bad decisions, bad options, or really great options, and it's just hard to make a choice between the two of them. You're sort of in crossroads, but I forgot what they call it. So I can't think of it. It's gonna leave me, but you're probably thinking of it like when you're butting heads, right? A gridlock. So you're sort of in a gridlock because you don't know which way to go, right? So the thing is that this card is telling you, and it's Archangel Jophiel, and the Moon card here that he's associating with this card, which is interesting. So this is telling you that you're letting emotional baggage hinder this process. So emotional stuff is surfacing, right? The Moon card, and you're sort of in this spinning around. It's kind of driving you crazy. Um, and the thing is that this card says put those emotions aside. This is a clear mental process. You need to just do what's logical. What's the logical next move? What's the logical choice here? And you got to base that on where you are in this moment, and what's going on, and what are the necessities. This is the only way. When you gridlock, it means that your emotions are working against you. You are resisting something. You're resisting something, and this resistance is coming out of fear. It is coming from unresolved um, circumstances or issues from the past, and you're not in the present moment. And so the only way to navigate this, and you're not going to get, you can, but I'm just going to say this because this is what I'm feeling this moment. You're not going to get the best option out of this, but you're going to get something that's better. And right now, that little nudge, that little step forward is the best thing for you, and will lead to you really being on a path where you can distinguish those choices, where you can really be in alignment with your heart, or you can feel that powerful alignment, intuitive alignment of your soul. They're saying that they wrote the word formidable, that you're formidable. So know that you're strong. And there's a sense sometimes we don't want to make the wrong decision. We're so afraid of making the wrong decision that we can't do anything. And you might be worried that you make the wrong decision, that you're going to create such chaos for yourself. But they're saying you're formidable. There is nothing that you could ever go through that you cannot manage. This is what they're saying. You have the ability to manage. And this is a situation where I feel like you need to focus on the management, because they wrote the word management. Okay? There's something about the concept, they're writing the word concept, that you're not able to manage. And they wrote copy as if to say that's correct. So it's the concept, and you're in the management of it. And you need to focus on the logistics. Forget the emotional stuff. Forget all that stuff. And they want you to confess whatever it is bothering you. Because once you really get to that root cause, emotional root cause of what's really bothering you, if you're afraid, say it. Because once you get it out, then it'll sound to you not ludicrous, but you'll feel like, wow, am I seriously? So get it all out. But this is a management issue. And right now you need to focus on the management of your decision. What's going to help you to manage, negotiate your your situation so that you can maneuver some things and get going where you in the ways that you need to get going. All right, so let's take a look at the card for the end of the week. All right, and this card is the Tower card. Ooh, and we got Archangel Jophiel twice. Okay, and so you know what I feel like this is? I know it seems ominous when you, but it is. I think this is about This is about you. You're struggling with your inner vision. You have a desire for something, but you're stuck where you are, and you're stuck in all of the beliefs. You're stuck in all of the, the mental stuff and the emotional stuff around it. You aren't able at this point to really imagine what to your ego is calling the impossible. But your soul is saying it's possible, and it's already done on the soul level. It's done. But this agreement, you don't know who to listen, you don't know which to agree. You don't know which reality to validate. And because you don't know which reality to validate, because both realities are you, the one that you see with your physical eyes and the one that you sense with your soul and your heart, you don't know which one to agree upon. And so the Tower card, titled Transformation here, is indicating that you're going through some stuff right now in order to break down those walls, to beat down those barriers. So you need to hang in there. You need to hang in there. And, this is all a projection, an illusion of your fears, is what they just wrote. It's all a projection, an illusion of your fears. And so in this week, you really need to focus on being clear-minded and remove the emotions out of everything. Remove the emotions. And I had an experience last week on a very small level, and I can't remember what it was, but I think and I think I just learned this very, very, very thing. So for instance, if you're applying for something or you're thinking about moving, but you're feeling really torn emotionally about it. Okay, right now, for example, and this came up with a client once, where she was told to look for a new place, a new home, and that's what she heard from her angels. But her mind, her emotions were focused on the change, and so her emotions were telling her, the angels were telling you to move now, like in that way, move right now, and her human was just not up to speed with that. But that interpretation was the projection of her ego, who misinterpreted what the exact message of the angels. And so she was working in a way that was what the ego had mandated, not what the angels had suggested. And when they said look, that means look. And I had to have her identify, like what we did with the first graders when they learned to read directions, identify the verb in the direction, and then what is it telling you to do, right? So first, look, right, look. And that's what's important. What do they mean? Just to look? They tell you to move? Nope, just look. And what do they tell you to look for? To look for a new home. So what does that mean? Are you moving now? No. And same thing if you're looking for a job. Your goal is you're looking for a job. But what our ego does is says, you're giving up your job now. And so what you do is all your peace goes out the window. And you're you're just running amok with fear. You are become the full expression. And this is how your ego gets out of its little tiny cage, its little tiny spot within ourselves, our personalities, and it runs around and just play, it's just like wild animals roaming. And you have to pay it. This is why the logic, and so this is what I'm hoping this demonstrates, is the Ace of Swords and this card is the logic, right? Use your logic this week. When you're afraid, when you find yourself emotional about something, that means you have anxiety or fear. That's because your emotions are running. Your emotions are running a headline or like a billboard, right? Of some kind of fear. And so what you have to do is go back to the message. What is the message what is it that you're actually been told to do? Or what is it how you began? What was it that you wanted to do? And go back to that. Simplify the idea in your head so that you're not all over the place doing things that are not necessary. In this way, when you let your ego out like that, you create your own tower. You end up tearing everything down. If you don't get your emotions in balance with your logic, if you got this inspiration and it said, tear down the walls in your house and remodel it, okay? Well, does it mean you should do that right now? No, especially if you don't know what you're doing. Did you think it meant for you to do it? Is that logical? If you don't have any, if you're not qualified to do that, what does it mean to start setting up appointments with contractors who could help you? So I'm just giving you different examples. Do not let your ego run wild. This is where your logic, your mental acumen is so important. Think about the process, structure it, organize, map it out so that you can understand what this process will look like. This helps you to bring your emotions into alignment, to bring the enthusiasm. Because when things are clear, then you get the positive emotions working for you. You get the positive momentum behind you. Okay? All right, let's take a look at the card. Wow, we have all swords. So we have the King of Air, or the King of Swords. And so this is about just basically what I just said, but knowing, making wise decisions, right? Making wise decisions using your logic, balancing the logic with your emotions. So first of all, you got to be observant. I feel like he's sitting with his head on his shoulder. It doesn't look very kingly, but it's a nod to taking your time and reflecting. It shows that just because he's a King of Swords, that he doesn't pick up that sword and see how it's just sitting beside him. He's not holding it. He doesn't just pick up his sword and rush into a situation without thinking it through. The sword is to his side so that it's for clarity. It's for delving out the truth. It's for mitigating justice. It's not meant to be used to cut somebody down. So, meaning he doesn't criticize others or criticize himself. He reflects. He uses his mind for the greater good. and combines that with his heart. That is by keeping his mind in check, the waters of the heart remain calm. So it's just like anything with air. If the winds really pick up and start to run wild, then the waters will as well. So this relationship between the element of air and water is very important for us to recognize within our own mental body and our emotional bodies. That if you are having anxiety, it's because of what's going on in your mind. And if you're feeling stuck and stagnant all the time, it's because of what's going on in your mind. And so reflect, pay attention. What is it that you truly desire? Get to the heart of what you truly want to accomplish. What are your strengths? Be compassionate in how you approach yourself and others. Practice compassion. The practice of compassion is what will allow you to naturally cultivate this balance between these two elements of mind and emotion, air and water. And they're writing that this kind of mind, they're writing the word Jupiter, this is the mind where abundance can flourish. So whatever you're trying to manifest, you need, and if you want to be a powerful manifester, then this is what you need to cultivate. And they're writing music. And I feel like, the fine arts and the classics really are this balance, because all of that passion is, what is the word I'm looking for, is enabled by the high quality of structure of the composition, right? The notes, the meters, the form and the refinement of the form. And so you need to refine your form. You need to pace yourself, right? In order for you to really stay emotionally healthy, and also the body, coming back to the body, proper sleep, balance, making sure if you don't get that, so think of the moon and the sunlight and the nighttime rest and daytime activity. Your daytime activity and energy is influenced by how well you are resting. And I was reading an article on revenge. I'm not going to remember it, but something about revenge sleeping. Basically, it's that whether you're home all day and you're working in the same space, or you're working out and you're just working on so many hours, that what people are doing is they're stealing time from their sleep time. So when it's time to go to sleep, then all of a sudden they make room. They have leisure time. They're stealing back that special time for themselves away from their sleep, and that will cause memory, issues and a whole host of other problems. And so this is a thing. We really do need to, all of these ways of balance, with our diet, balance. We have all, and this is all the logical things to do. These are the things that reasoning, using our reasoning, the reasonable things, the respectful things to do. We have to respect the balance in nature and respect the balance of nature within our bodies and our relationship to the earth and our bodies, to what we eat and the activities and things with our bodies. Everything that we interact with, our body is interacting with. And we need to make sure that there's harmony with that. Okay? All right. So I send you lots of love and angel blessings. Have a beautiful week. And God bless you.